me listening to The Secret on the way to the yard, trying to manifest my future. You're going to find out why in a minute. Well, guys, I've just had the most devastating news, and let me tell you, horses can be tough sometimes, especially if you're competitive and you've got goals and things you want to go out and achieve together. I don't even know what to say. Don't worry, it's not Fearn. She's fine. But yeah, my horse box needs a new engine, which means it's very, very, very expensive. Some people would scrap it, but it's worth way more with an engine in. It's just funding it. So, you know, I am the most optimistic, positive, hard-working go-getter there is, but I think we've got to normalise that there are just times when it's crap. And this is one of them. So we're left with the big task of finding the funds to be able to refurbish the entire engine. And yeah, it's not fun. We've got a lot of plans, we've got lessons, we were registering to go BD. Look how sad Fearn looks. Are you devastated? Oh, she genuinely looks sad. I think she's sad because she's had a few days off and it's back to work time now. Yeah, so we had a lot of plans. We were supposed to register and go BD end of January, your first official outing, and I could hire a box, but then paying for the work that needs doing and renting something just it's just not wise to do financially. So yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer right now. Anyway, the last thing I want to do is ride. What I want to do is go home, get in my bed and cry, basically. But we can't do that, can we? We've got to pick ourselves up and move on. And it's possible, and we'll find a way, because where there's will, there's always a way. So yeah, we're gonna just it's freezing cold outside. If you're in the UK, you'll know it's been snowing and freezing temperatures. So we've only got the indoor really available to work with, which is quite small, but we get to do quite a bit in there, don't we? Yeah, she says yeah. What you say, you'd rather sleep? I don't know how much I'm going to be able to record of my riding because I didn't bring my 360 to follow us, but we're just going to have a nice little easy stretch. She's had a few days off, hasn't you? I think she's trying to throw a sickie, says she's too tired. Are you too tired? You look like you're falling to sleep. I hope you feel like that when I get on. Alright, yeah, I don't even know if I'll ever share this, but the reality of horses is it doesn't always go your way. It's a very difficult and tough sport to be a part of. People don't show that side enough. And we need to normalise the fact that sometimes it is really hard. It plays on your mental health and your stress levels and your anxiety. It's something terrible. Yeah, and I think we need to get better at supporting each other through times like that, rather than pretending that it's all great and only posting the good stuff that happens, because if you've owned horses for any length of time, you'll know that it's never all good. It is a multitude of highs and lows and ups and downs. So let's get her tacked up. I've been doing these core conditioning exercises for Fearn, more so than me, by Simon Kokoza. He helps with rehabilitation of kissing spines or just developing your horse's strength in their core and their back being loose and effective. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do some suppling and core conditioning exercises. Come on. Good morning. It's actually the next day. Well, it's not the next day, it's 2 days later. Yeah, I was feeling a bit deflated the other day. As you can imagine, I did actually have a really good ride, but I didn't get to film any of it. So I'm going to try today to try and capture my ride, because we're going to do the same thing as we did the other day. Core conditioning and suppling, warm up, and then just working on our way of going in, and my way of going. As much as Fearn's, it's my way of going in the trot and the canter. So yeah, that's what we're on today. Hey, so what you didn't see, because I cut it out by accident and couldn't get it back, is after I got on at the mountain block and went down the bottom of the arena, we had a few quite sharp spooks and silly moments. So I took her on a couple of small circles so that I could get her focused on the job and my legs on before we carried on. So I'm just trotting her on out of quite a long rein. And the aim of all Fearn's trot work right now is to keep her moving forward into the bridle and not coming back at me. She's really good while it's slow, but as soon as you push it forward, she comes back up at you. So we're just really working on getting her to stay forward and out into the contact. Yeah, I know here my reins are really long, but I'm really trying to work her to take the nose forward and down as we do these 10-meter circles, which is actually not so easy to do, but I think she's actually managing pretty well. So these circles are part of the Simon Kokoza suppling exercises that I was talking about to condition the core and help you supple over the back. So here again, I'm just working on the same thing, keeping the neck down, pushing her forward into that without her coming back at me in the neck like she just did there. But we salvaged it, and she's learning to come back to this better frame than so high in her neck, because her natural instinct is to come up in the neck, and then she just can't come through from behind. So that's really what we're working with, is just having the neck a bit lower and then working to get that hind end moving and the trot traveling forwards a bit more. I've had to really work on re-establishing my own balance. So a lot of this has to do with my own balance playing a part in that as well. So working on me as much as I'm working on her here. In fact, probably more on me than her. But that's what happens when you start riding again at 40 years old, I'm afraid. So I'm just doing a little bit of leg yielding walk, And then we pick up the trot. They're supposed to be 10-metre circles that I do in the trot and then out to a leg yield to the track. But they're more like 15-metre circles, to be fair. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do properly. We can do a 10-metre, but these were definitely more 15-metre circles. We've literally only just introduced the leg yielding trot. She's still wiggling and trying to find the right place to be in her carriage as she moves over, but I think this one is a little better. She's tending to lift up and hollow and tightening the back instead of keeping through, but we'll get there. She does tend to go a little bit better on this rein, to be fair. And I'm not sure if you can hear, but there's so much going on this day. My circles are more like 10-metre circles on this rein as well, aren't they? Yeah, there's so much going on. They're making bales of hay outside. There's cars coming and going. She was very tense this day because I think she'd had a few days off, and because of the cold weather, she'd been in for about a week without any turnout. So yeah, it was a little bit tense to start with, but to be fair, she switched on and got on with the job. Yep, a little excitable into the first canter of the day, but it does get better. The bottom end of that arena is quite noisy and spooky, so she's always a bit more tense down that end, to be fair. The canter has really took some time with Fearn. It is a lot better. It could still be a little larger in the stride and more relaxed, less tense and rounder, but we're just working on all of that. If you just let her slop along as she wants to go, she's perfectly fine, but as soon as you start asking for a bit more contact and rounding it up, she finds that quite difficult. So we're working on it and we're getting there. It's starting to get to the point where she will round up and soften, whereas before she was just bracing and tense all the time. Plus again, she's dealing with my balance and me refinding my position and seat in the canter as well. So bless her, she is an absolute saint, to be fair. If you're not aware, she's only 6. She's very green, and she had somebody else that was much lighter than me ride her initially when we first backed her, and they got the walk, the trot and the canter going, and then I've taken over the ride, and I'm not like a very experienced rider, so she's learning while I'm relearning. So I think, to be fair, she is a saint of a horse and she's doing incredibly well. Believe it or not, her right rein used to be her worst, but it's definitely becoming her better rein. The stride and the canter looks a lot better on this rein, so yeah, and it feels really nice actually, the right rein canter now. You can see there she's trying to brake, so I'm just trying to keep her going. Now this is fab because, I mean, we only used to be able to do one circuit before she would brake, so yeah, it's coming along. Okay. So you can see here, she is coming a little bit more over her back and swinging a little bit more behind in this trot now. She's loosened up a little bit. I mean, there's still loads to go. She still needs to come much more forward from behind and travel a little bit more, but we're working on it all. And we finish up with just a couple of centre lines and halts. And that's it for the day. Oh, thank you so much if you made it this far. It really helps me if you enjoyed this to give us a like, comment down below, and subscribe to our channel to follow us on our journey.